It is a trap bar deadlift, 1 rep max. Those tires on each side of that custom-built Rogue hex bar are give or take 110 pounds. Everything is measured out precisely, but the tires aren't exact to each side. But the weight will be known as each one of these competitors heads out onto the floor, and Maxime Boudreau starts things off. Still floored, Laz, by the fact that he wins the keg toss yesterday, the only man to clear with the 80-pound keg while slipping.
Yeah, Maxime's such a fantastic thrower. Unfortunately, Maxime is not the best deadlifter. He is opening here with 365 kilos, 806 pounds, still a massive weight. And when I say not a good deadlifter, we are comparing him, of course, to the best guys in the world. You chuck this man in a normal gym, he's going to impress. But he needs to try and pick up some points.
Opening at 8:06.
We get a first good lift there from Maxime Boudreau.
And how fickle are the standings in this competition? Maxime Boudreau entered the day in 13th overall. He finished last in the final event yesterday after winning the keg toss. If he would have cleared the 450-pound stone, which was the lightest stone, he would have vaulted Laz into 4th place.
You just look how tight we are, you know, from Evan Singleton and Thomas Evans, who are joint third on 39.5 points, down to Eddie Williams, who's got 31 points. It's just fractions that can change things very, very quickly.
Nick Gardione is in 9th place. 8th, 13th, 5th, and 6th. And if you are Nick Gardione competing in your first ever Strongest Man on Earth, you are taking that, running to the bank, and cashing that check.
Nick is doing really, really well.
He's also barefoot.
The reason he's gone barefoot is because he wants to be as low to the ground as possible, and he gets a good feeling through the feet rather than just being in the shoes or socks. So he's trying to reduce the range of motion there, try to lift it as little distance as needed. He's quite a tall athlete. Deadlifting is a weakness for Gardione. It's something he's been working really, really hard on, but that was a very strong lift. Nice tightness through the body, good drive with the legs, and excellent finish position there. That will build the confidence going through to his second lift. He certainly has more in the tank.
816 pounds, good for Gardione. One of the best characters we have seen of our competitors over the last day or so.
I'm loving the back and forth between him and Evan Singleton.
Now Wes Derwinski. The trap bar is custom made by Rogue Fitness. The handles are 26 inches, 66 centimeters apart. The lift height is 12 inches, or 30 centimeters. It's a little bit lower to the ground than a typical hex bar, but higher than a normal deadlift.
Yeah, normal deadlift would be a few inches lower than this. This allows the athletes, being a little bit higher, it allows them to really get a bit more leg drive into this. They can sit back more. There's no bar that they've got to worry about kind of smashing into their shins. But there's absolutely no give in this bar as well. So that's a factor. I think a lot of people were expecting the bar to flex more than it does. This is a rock solid bar. Very, very stiff. 846 pounds there. And Derwinski goes up. So as I mentioned earlier in the opening scene, athletes are allowed to use straps on this. We're not testing grip strength here. Just who can lift the most weight from A to B. Nice and simple, pure strength test. And that's what Brian Shaw's competition is all about.
And now Tom Stoltman, who will open at 876. You alluded to it right off the top. Yesterday was the best day when you look at the events on paper for the King of Stones. He's certainly not out of it, though. He's in 2nd place overall. He just needs to stay consistent. Definitely
not out of it at all. I mean, you know, he's such a great strongman that even on a bad day, he's very, very good. However, I did expect him to be leading after day one. Left a few points out there, and this is potentially one of the events people are looking at as a weakness for Tom. Let's see how the work he's been putting in has affected his leg and back strength. He's such a tall man. He's got to pull this further than any other athlete out there.
3-time World's Strongest Man, looking for his first Strongest Man on Earth title. He told us, listen, I don't come to competitions to finish 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. He's Ricky Bobby.
He's a 3-time World's Strongest Man. You are one of the best guys in the world. And that's a good, solid opening lift there from Tom Stoltman. No problem at all. 876 pounds, 397 kilos.
4 attempts, 4 good lifts on the trap bar or the hex bar. It is hexagonal in shape. This first round is a little bit of an unknown. Hex bars exist, although not this exact one, because again, it's custom built by Rogue. But you can pick up a hex bar at your gym. But in competition with tires, there's a lot of unknown. How much do you think this first round is a feel-out process, and what kind of jumps will we see in round 2?
You're absolutely right, Joel. This is all about getting a feel for the equipment. The athletes will really understand after this lift how much they feel they can jump on to round 2. I think some of the athletes will see quite big jumps. Others, their opener maybe doesn't move as well as they want. They'll have to be conservative.
This is Tristan Hoth, 886. This will be the last attempt with only 2 tires. We'll need the third once we jump to 907 next.
For our European listeners, this is the first person to go over the 400 kilo mark.
Easily.
Good. Yeah, no problem at all there.
Tristan Hoth has had 3 top 6 finishes. He is in 7th place overall. And here comes the tire change.
We're going to add a tire to this bar. Now it's starting to look impressive. And I want to see 4 aside. I think we might.
Luz, did you ever consider like NASCAR pit crew once you retired from sport? Let's look back at Tom Stoltman. This was real easy, and it seemed like a big feeling out lift at 876 for Stoltman.
I mean, very much so. I mean, Tom, obviously second place overall. He's come in fairly light compared to some of his other big competitors. But as we spoke about, you want to get that comfortable first lift on the board. And he's moved that really well there. So he'll be able to go backstage and think, okay, that moved nicely. I can really push harder on this second one.
Maybe the biggest surprise of day 1, Bryce Johnson, 2 top 3 finishes. He's in 5th overall and 6 points out of the lead. This is his 7th ever international competition, and he's coming 2 weeks ago off a win at North America's Strongest Man.
I've got to say, Bryce Johnson is really impressing me. This guy is rapidly improving in the strongman scene. Such a monster of an athlete, huge man. When you see him walking around backstage, you just feel tiny. But he performs as well. It's not just for show. Those stones yesterday were fantastic. What's his deadlift? Oh, he is looking strong. 907 pounds, made to look like a toy.
6'6", 405 pounds. You don't feel small around him. You just are. You just are small around him. Eddie Williams will be our next lifter at 927. Talk about taking swings here in round 1. This is going to be a PB attempt, a personal best attempt for Eddie Williams in round 1 at the Strongest Man on Earth.
We say PB attempt, but obviously I've seen him pull on a standard deadlift before as well. So he knows he's capable of these kind of weights. He's a strong deadlifter. Deadlift's something that originally when we saw Eddie a few years back, it was a weakness. He's put a lot of work into his deadlift. It's improved tremendously. And I don't think this weight's going to be a problem.
He actually said he was super excited for this event. And he said anything over 400 kilograms would be a great day. Well, I got news for you, Eddie. Round 1's going to make it a great day.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's a feeling out system with this. He would have been trying this backstage. It probably felt a little bit better than maybe his trap bar did at home. And he's confident to come out here at 420 kilos. 20 kilos over those numbers he said he'd be happy with, and this is round 1.
Eddie taking a while to get his grip set with those straps.
The only important thing with this bar, because it's quite a large trap bar, you really want to get centered so that swing doesn't put you off as you lift. And actually, this could be a big mistake here from Eddie.
You only get 1 attempt within that 60-second window, and he is now stuck at that 927-pound attempt as he goes.
Yeah, I mean, you said he'd be happy with over 400. I was assuming maybe the warm-ups were just feeling super easy, that he's come out that heavy. But that could be a mistake there for Eddie.
So now Andre Foytun, who will add another 20 pounds, 947.
Just shy of 430 kilos.
23-year-old youngest man in this competition, certified cat dad. Has one named Gigi. Lives in an apartment though, so limiting factor.
Yeah.
Can't get too many more. You can look at the grips there and the straps as Foytu gets himself locked into position.
It's a good lift there by Andre Foytu, our youngest athlete in the lineup, but he is an absolute powerhouse. Loves the heavy events.
Lars, walk me through the straps that we saw with Foytu as well. You saw Eddie Williams taking a while to get himself situated. What's the right feel? What's the right handle to get yourself in the proper position?
There's two types of straps genuinely in strongman. There's figure of eights and the standard strap. Some people call them figure of sixes. Brian doesn't allow the athletes to use the figure of eights here. So you've got to kind of use these ones where you wrap them round. And you just want to make sure you're wrapping them round, but not so you get them too clumped up in your hands. You're trying to spread it across the bar. And it just locks you in nice and tight. And it takes grip element out of there. But it is important to get the positioning right on the bar.
And here we go with Thomas Evans getting those straps.
That's it. And it sometimes can be a bit tricky getting that second hand exactly as you want it. Takes practice. You don't want it the first time you ever come out here to be using straps.
The only man to have trap bar deadlifted in competition before.
Well, that looked easy. 947 pounds made to look like nothing.
Now I put the caveat on that is that Thomas Evans said it was an amateur strongman competition and there were two people in the field. So different vibe, but clearly comfortable.
He's come a long way from those amateur days. Thomas Evans, one of the strongest men on earth currently.
What has to go right for him today? He came into today in third place.
This needs to be a big performance for him. His best event is going to be the chest press. This is an event that he needs to pick up points. If he can get himself top 6, top 8, he'll keep putting those points on the board. He's got great core strength, could do well on the safe carry, and then I expect to see big points going in to that press, and he could put himself in contention. And then, as I mentioned before, you know, once you're in position to battle for podium, you give everything when it comes to that last event.
This is another attempt at 947. This is your overall leader, the Big Thicket. Trey Mitchell, Charles Mitchell III. Not only is he the third Charles Mitchell, he could become a 3-time Shaw Classic champion.
Now let's remember that frame yesterday was 820 pounds. Now we've got 947 as an opener. Very similar lift, but we take grip out of the factor.
Those nerve issues in his left hand gave him struggles in his worst event, last place in event 2. Straps here, get 947 up easy.
No problem at all for the big Texan.
4 lifters left. And Eddie Williams is the only man so far not to have hit his lift successfully. What does that do strategy-wise for him? I think first and foremost.
He's going to be panicking a little bit because, as you said, you cannot go down. So he knows he's got to come out, and he would have felt that. And I'm hoping it was a technical issue, but it's not like the log where there's a lot more technique involved. This is just heavy. You stand in the middle, you grab hold, and you pick it up.
It is the ultimate here pick this up contest. Josh Spurgeon in 14th overall.
Josh Spurgeon is a monster deadlifter. Standard deadlift, he's excellent. How does that transfer to a trap bar? Off balance a little bit, needs to get this. There we go. He had the hands slightly too far forward. You just saw him have to roll the implement back a little bit, get himself set perfectly, then he could execute that power. So there is a little technical element there, and maybe Eddie Williams can look at that and think, okay, I can correct this. Very easy to let those wheels roll forward when you're trying to set up, put you out of your strongest line.
Getting word from Terry in the backstage warm-up area that Eddie Williams is trying to file on his grips so that he can get a better handle with his straps next time he comes back out.
Maybe if he's used a brand new straps, they're a little bit smooth, can be a bit slippy in those cases. Yeah, sometimes you want to find some sandpaper or a stone that you can kind of rough them up a little bit with.
All right, here's the biggest showman in the field.
Evan has been lifting some big numbers in the gym on his trap bar. Opening here on 967 pounds, 438.5 kilos.
I was gonna say that'd be something. Yeah. The T-Rex.
Oh, that was easy. Powerful lift there.
What did that bar do to you, Evan Singleton? He just stomped it into the ground.
And he knows today's his good day. He's coming out firing. And here's a man I expect to be good at this lift.
And Lucas Hatton came into the competition telling us this is the first time in his pro career he felt like he had a real shot of winning on the international stage. He wins the log lift with an American record, but then goes 12th and 14th in the next two events. I think the 14th with a shock on the keg throw. So what's his mindset like last night coming into today?
He's blocking out the mistakes and focusing on what's ahead. He knows he's got good events. He knows there's a lot of points to fight for, and he needs to take it one event at a time. I mean, if he's here to win, he's got to be looking at this event as an event win. Nothing less than first place when it comes to this trap bar deadlift if he wants to be the champion today.
His training partners call him, Lucas, it's only 4 plates, Hatton. This is only 3 tires. 967 pounds.
Straps in nice and tight. Get himself balanced, drive with the legs, chest up. Easy opener. And when I say easy opener, we're talking 967 pounds. That's a heavy weight.
Laz, I think he smiled while doing it.
I'm sure he did. Anything when it comes to heavy lifting, Lucas loves. He's a man that is all about heavy lifting as well. Austin Andrade.
To be good at this event, Andrade told us you have to be built like a brick blank house. And the good thing is I am.
He's over 400 pounds in body weight. Massive deadlift strength, this man.
Andrade is 7 points off the lead in 6th overall.
These are some big opening weights we're seeing by these men.
He's deadlifting in Vans.
Some athletes like to be in shoes. The Vans are pretty flat shoes, so it still keeps him quite low to the ground. And how easy was that?
Let's take a look back at the complete picture of round 1, where we saw 13 of our 14 competitors get this weight off the ground, and Trey Mitchell leading the pack at top of the leaderboard. Tom Stoltman in 2nd overall. Singleton, though, this was awesome.
By Evan. Look at that aggression. Gives it a kick. Tom Evans there looking strong as well. We saw some fantastic lifts in that round. I am excited to see how far these men can push this trap bar deadlift today.
And we'll see what numbers they called out as they headed into the back through the completion of their first round. Volunteer crew, by the way, making all of these weight changes. There's got to be like a volunteer combine, right?
Indeed.
Like must be able to move 600 pounds efficiently.
You look down there, some strong boys.
It's, yeah, if you want to compete, you gotta be on the pit crew for a year. Let's take a look at the current overall leaderboard coming into this event. Again, this is after yesterday's 4 events. Mitchell with that 2.5 point advantage over Tom Stoltman, who I again continue to point out is the only man in the top 5 who does not have a bottom 5 finish, which is incredible because everybody has had to overcome some sort, I don't want to say mishap, but some sort of tough event to be near the top.
But he has had the lowest opening lift out of everyone in that top half of the table. So he's going to need to push up and put some pressure on his competitors.
A field of 14 remaining as Shane Flowers and Bobby Thompson do not compete today. As we start to up the weights and reset our order.
So we're going back down to 846 pounds. I think it'll be Maxime Boudreau out first.
Take a look back at our keys for deadlifting on a tire trap bar. Back strength, and, yes, back strength and leg strength.
Very simple
Thank
on this
you,
one.
Ross.
Very, very simple. Nothing to overthink. Just be strong.
What is there technique-wise to know about deadlifting on a trap bar versus a regular bar?
It's just a slightly different position. Okay, we spoke about it being about 3 inches higher than a standard lift, but you also don't have that bar out in front of you. It's to the side, so you can get yourself centered a little bit easier. You can use a little bit more leg power in that start position, and it's easier then to pop the hips through.
Is it almost a little like a hack squat in some way?
A little bit like a hack squat, a cross between like a hack and a leg press, I guess.
Maxime Boudreau, who opened at 8:06, will start at 8:46. Nick Guardione will go next, and then everybody else will be over 900 in this next round.
Maxime getting a big sniff of ammonium there, trying to wake himself up, get himself fired up.
No hits to the forehead here.
Not yet. Wait
had
for
him in
Evan
the first
Singleton
round.
for that.
Boudreau was funny on your YouTube page last night. He hit himself in the forehead 3 times and said, hey, I got to have fun while I'm here.
Indeed. The thing with Boudreau, he's very realistic of where his strengths and his weaknesses lie. He knows the events he's good at. Deadlift is his weakest event. He's really trying to kind of maybe pick up 1 or 2 points. Actually, he'll pick up more than that because of 2 athletes pulling out. So he's going to get 3 points. It's 3 points more than we often see him getting on a deadlift. So he's going to have to just get backstage, get himself prepared. There's still some good events to come. And as we've seen so far, after every event, the points are swinging all over the place. The athletes keep changing position.
We talked earlier about what kind of jumps would we see as people felt out the trap bar in competition. Well, that was a 40-pound jump for Maxime Boudreau. This will be a 50-pound jump for Nick Guardione. Successful at 8:16, he's going up to 8:66.
And I think we're going to see these little battles take place tonight on this event. You know, some people are going to be looking to take the win. Other guys are just going to be looking to beat out other athletes. I think Nick has his eyes set on taking out Maxime. I don't think he feels like he can challenge anyone else in this lineup. So this is a big lift for him to secure a couple of extra points.
There are 7 competitors that have called 1,000 pounds or more in this second round. Guardione for 8:66, as if that's nothing.
And 8:66 goes up. Guardione continuing to impress. Even though this might not be competing against the very, very best in this event, it's a personal best for him. And every event, he seems to just be getting better and better.
We've been painting the perspective picture for you all weekend. 1,000 pounds, and we're near that. We're now at 9:07 as we get to Wes Derwinski. It's the equivalent of lifting 220 bricks. It's a very specific number.
It is a very specific number.
But like, a lot of bricks.
That is a lot of bricks.
If you're an old car person, an old Chevy Chevette, if you were big into deadlifting in the 1970s. So Derwinski's first lift was good at 8:46. Eddie Williams is next at 9:27, is the only athlete that did not hit in the first round. Laz, we spoke yesterday with the Max Log how you plan out your lifts and kind of a no, think, hope strategy. Same type of deal here. These are weights in this second round that guys have most certainly hit in training, or are they starting to push their bounds a little bit?
They're going to be pushing at this point. They're going to be trying to look at, particularly depending on where they are in the competition, they're trying to get an advantage over their opposition. So they're going to be looking at what other people are picking. This second lift has to be a challenging lift. You're trying to give yourself a chance of watching your opponent go ahead of you in round 3.
We're changing out a couple of the plates here. Real good lesson in how to put weights on a bar for those of you at home. You put something under it to elevate it. Don't try to slide those plates on while the thing's on the ground.
You want something to jack that bar up.
What is Wes Derwinski thinking, right? Because he's been ready to go for 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is something as an athlete you just have to cope with. He's got to stay switched on, stay focused. Getting those straps exactly where he wants them, so he is centered in that trap bar. And he's got to keep those arms straight. Flex the triceps so the arms are as straight as possible. Drive with the legs, pull with the back at the same time. Great lift there from Wes Derwinski. 907 pounds, like a grand piano. Normally you need a whole team to move it. These guys will do it on their own.
Did you look that up?
No.
That's actually true.
I know my stuff. The amount of times people have asked me if I can move their pianos for them. I'm like, no.
I mean, I can, but
I can, but I won't.
Yeah.
I'll save it for competition.
So now Eddie Williams at 927. That's why they put wheels on him now.
Yeah.
So he was filing down his grip, Terry told us in the back after missing his first attempt.
So this is a pressure lift now. He needs this. After a good first day, he just can't afford to come out here and zero this event. 927 will give him points. 420 kilos. He is being methodical putting those straps on, trying to make sure that he's in exactly the place he needs to be. Get that balance right. We saw with Josh Spurgeon, the bar had rolled forward a little bit. He may find he needs to pull it back. You're trying to keep the arms straight, get yourself centered, then drive hard into the ground, pushing with the quads, pulling with the back muscles. As soon as that bar comes over those knees, you're trying to bring those hips through. This is better from the big man. He gives the nod and he responds to the pressure. Well done, Eddie Williams.
It was that right grip that gave him trouble trying to get it set in the first round, and it was doing it again here in round 2, but much more confident.
Much better, yes, and the pressure of zeroing is away now. You know, he knows he's got points, he can relax a little bit.
So that gets points for Eddie Williams, and we will stay at 927 for Tom Stoltman. So he makes a pretty sizable jump from 876, but still sitting in second place overall. The people he is directly competing against are in a different stratosphere on this event.
And that's the thing, you know, Tristan Hoth, Lucas Hatton, Austin Andrade, Bryce Johnson, Evans Singleton, Thomas Evans, Trey Mitchell. We haven't seen any of those guys come out yet for their second attempt. So this is very important that Tom Stoltman gets this lift. He looked very strong in his opening round.
Getting those straps set, thumb must be wrapped around the bar. Again, this lift height is 12 inches. The handles are 26 inches apart.
Big Tommy. Easy, come on Tom, pull it. There you go.
Stoltman successful at 927, and Laz, it almost looks like a race to the knees. Once he got it there, he can just stand up.
You know, I'm shouting out easy. It really wasn't easy, but he was very strong off the floor, and then there's kind of a 3 or 4 inch section around the knees where he really started to struggle. He stuck with it really well, kept pulling hard. Once the weight was over the knees, pops the hips through nice and comfortably.
What gets you through that sticking point when it feels like you're about to fail, but you ultimately get through?
It's very much kind of trusting your ability to just keep pulling, because you're going from that transition from the leg muscles driving to the back muscles pulling, and he's such a tall man that it's in that transition phase where it's the hardest. And as soon as it's high enough, he can just pop those hips through and he's strong again.
Tristan Hoth now, also at 9:27. He is making a smaller jump than Stoltman after hitting at 8:86 in the first round.
Tristan going for the bare feet. Wants to be as low to the ground as possible. Give himself minimum amount of distance to pull this bar.
And that's why you're seeing wider stances as well. Same reason. Stay low.
The wider stances allow a little bit more leg drive for some of the guys. That was good. Tristan is a very well-rounded athlete. Maybe he doesn't excel at any event. There's no event you look at and think, oh, this guy's going to win. But he's steadily been putting points on the board.
I mean, 13th in the log lift, and then 5, 6, and 5. 5th place, 6th place, and 5th place.
It's really good.
Bryce Johnson, 13th, 3rd, 10th, and 1st to get him into 5th place overall.
Bryce has been really performing this weekend. Winner in the Stones yesterday. We've had 4 different winners of 4 different events so far.
Do we get a 5th?
We'll see.
I mean, Trey Mitchell hasn't won an event yet, and he's in 1st place.
Yeah.
Johnson at 9:57.
What's even crazier is Trey has come last in an event and he's still in 1st place overall. However, look how good that lift was there. 957 pounds, 2nd lift for Bryce Johnson. He's got more in the tank. I could see him pulling 1,000 pounds.
Andre Foytu will be next and is the first man to attempt over 1,000. There was a little bit of blood on the platform, though. Bryce Johnson, I think you could see, call that out when he pointed to his nose and then pointed to the ground. Oh, he got it on the bar. So they'll clean that up.
I just want to make sure nothing that shouldn't be on the bar is there for our next athlete. So our helpers are just getting everything cleaned up nice and quickly. Now,
I thought we were going for 450,957 pounds.
That would be impressive.
Oh, we just need the 1. That's fine. Okay.
Maybe as a collective team.
Take a look back at Bryce Johnson's effort.
This was a really good lift there. Look how easy that goes up for Bryce. He's got plenty more in the tank.
1,007.
456 kilos. First athlete to go over 1,000 pounds. The youngest man in the contest. And it's a good lift. Tongue comes out. That's a big lift from the young man. Well done, Andre Foytu.
He needed it after back-to-back 14th and 13th place finishes to close out day 1. Foytu maybe hoists himself back up into contention with that.
We go even heavier to 1,027 pounds. We are talking 465 kilos.
We will get up to 1,057 in this round. Evan Singleton is expected to take a near 100-pound jump.
He looked strong, though, in that first round. He's capable.
Josh Spurgeon, he's making a sizable jump. This is a 70-pound lift from his first effort. Former football player for the Toledo Rockets. It is Sunday after all.
Josh needs to get those straps nice and tight. Now drive with the legs. It's heavy, but it's coming. Can he get it? I think it's a little too much. Took a risk there. Too much for Josh. He's going to get another attempt, but he cannot go down.
Now with that next attempt also coming at this weight, knowing, all right, I got some lift, what does he go back and think to himself, what's the cue to himself to push past where he got stuck?
He needs to really try and apply a little bit more drive. I think if he got it an inch or two higher, he would have been able to lock out. He's very, very strong at locking big weights out on a standard deadlift. This is a little bit different, requires a bit more leg power off the floor. Keep that chest as high as possible. Anyway, we move on to Thomas Evans. This man is having a fantastic contest so far. As you pointed out, the only man that's got experience of a trap barring competition. However, that was a long time ago at a much lower level. But
it
look how
translates.
strong that was. Unbelievable.
1,027 pounds for Thomas Evans. Guy is an OG of the Shaw Classic. One of two men that's competed in all of them. And now Lucas Hatton.
Large legs, Lucas Hatton. This man has more nicknames than anyone else. But one thing that is for sure, he is an absolute powerhouse. We are going up to 1,037 pounds, 470 kilos.
I stand corrected. Evans coming up through the open division here in the history of the Shaw Classic. Which nickname do you like the best? We got Lucas I Like Trains Hat. We'll go with that one for this event. You know what else he likes? Heavy deadlifts.
Anything heavy this man likes. He's an absolute powerhouse. He loved the log press yesterday, and he is absolutely loving this trap bar deadlift on day 2, championship day at the strongest man on earth.
1,037 pounds for Hatton in 7th place. And now Trey Mitchell. He is one of the two men that has competed in every Shaw Classic. Trey Mitchell and Maxime Boudreau. Which is crazy to think about because Trey Mitchell is not that old. He's 32 years old. To have been here at this level for that long and to have won twice over the guy whose name is on the placard.
This is the show that he comes in his absolute best form. It's his favorite competition of the season. And he wants to take this title. As you mentioned, he's a former champion, but he's never won since it's turned to the strongest man on earth, and he wants that title.
Trey Mitchell for 1,047 pounds after Hatton just lifted 1,037 pounds. The two men that went toe-to-toe on the log lift yesterday. Your overall leader, Mitchell. He's got a minute. Leg drive.
Oh, yes. Trey Mitchell, absolute beast. Look at the shoulders and traps and back. Just an absolute muscle. Tank of a man.
It's all just one muscle.
Yeah, that's at this point. I mean, Lucas Hatton and Trey Mitchell, these two have been superb when it comes to their heavy lifting. Maybe not the best when it's about speed and running around, but with heavy weights, there are few men that can lift as much as these guys. And they keep battling it out on the heavy events. 1st and 2nd place on the log lift. They are battling for those positions on the deadlift. However, there is one more man that would like to put a dampener on those two.
It is Austin Andrade, who is wearing a brand new lifting belt because yesterday he threw his in the back and, as he told me, damaged one of the important parts. So the Shaws kind enough to hook him up with a new lifting belt. He was putting it together earlier, and he is now walking out there attempting some big weights.
This is a man that loves to deadlift. Saw him a few years ago at the Deadlift World Championships. He came over last minute. No prep for the contest. Pulled 430 kilos, no suit. He has gone on to improve tremendously since last year. Almost pulled 470 kilos in the deadlift, standard deadlift, that is. Now he's going to be attempting 475 kilos on our trap bar. Trap bar made by Rogue. Fantastic equipment.
He's at 47.
And it needs to be to handle these weights.
Singleton's at 57. Is this 1047? 1047, right? Okay.
They're confirming 10:57 is next. So we're just making sure that this is 10:47 for Austin Andrade. The smash.
Seen two men get this already.
Andrade said his biggest competition was himself coming into this event. Very center focused. He just shook off a ready call. Trying to still tighten that strap on the left hand.
Just once that other strap is in position, it's hard to sometimes get it exactly where you want just with one hand. Takes a bit of practice.
And you can see him covering the distance, trying to get it flat.
Oh, look at that!
Because he can lift anything.
He heard us talking about Lucas and Trey, and he does not want to be out of that conversation. What a lift there from Andrade.
I'm curious as we go to round 3 what numbers people are going to call, because Singleton's now going for 1,057. And some of these have looked clean.
I think we could see 500 kilos, 1,100 pounds, I'm going to call it. We're going to see some people attempting that.
This isn't even the heaviest thing they're going to do today.
This is just a warm-up.
Literally.
And here comes the T-Rex, Evan Singleton, stomping his way to this trap bar. This will put him in the lead at the end of round number 2. 1,057 pounds, just shy of 480 kilos.
Likely not to put him in the overall lead. He's 5.5 points out, but it'll certainly help!
Oh! Evan Singleton! Wow! That man is pulling over 500 kilos today. Wow.
As a former professional wrestler, Evan Singleton, the only response to that lift is what?
That was incredible. Let's take a look at Evan's lift once again. Here he comes, marching up to the bar, gets himself strapped in, and look at the aggression and power, powerful leg drive, the speed. That was the fastest out of any of our lifters.
1 tire, 2 tires, 3 tires, 6 tires for Evan Singleton. All right, round 3 is coming up. Our third and final round on our opening event of our final day at the Strongest Man on Earth.
Joel, what are we going to see? How heavy can these guys go?
Legitimate question. How heavy will Evan Singleton go? If you were Evan Singleton, what would you call going into this next round?
I'd be taking a look at that scoreboard and seeing what the biggest weight is that anyone else has put, and I'd be doing 10 pounds more. Because he looked incredible there. He's got that advantage where he is the last, because he did the biggest lift in round 2. He goes to the scorer, he can see what everyone else has put on, and he should be confident in himself that he can win this after looking at that round there.
Custom-made trap bar by Rogue Fitness. 26-inch separation of the handles, 12-inch pick off the ground. And that is the, as you alluded to, the key piece for Evan Singleton going last is he can look back at everybody else, because this isn't, Laz, a competition of how much you can deadlift. It's a competition of can you deadlift more than everybody else.
Indeed, he's got to look at the whole contest. If he can get a win on this day is a very, very good day for Evan Singleton. I looked at the events from the start and I was like, day 2 is Evan's day. He's not quite as high as maybe he wanted to be at day one, but he would be looking at the events thinking, I've got a chance. If I can beat the likes of Trey and Lucas on this event, and someone like Austin can get between us, he's going to be thinking, I can win this today.
We're going back down to 2 tires to start round 3, but it was 3 tires to start things off for Stoltman, who right now is chasing points because he has the lightest lift of anybody in the top 5.
He just needs to maintain, you know, a top 3, top 4 position overall. Bryce Johnson looked really, really strong. Easy lift there. He's going to make a big jump. Thomas Evans is just performing all weekend. A little bit more rough than some of the pulls, but still effective. 10:47, our first man to hit this number, Trey Mitchell. Powerful, smooth, strong. Austin Andrade here, another man with just tremendous. I mean, look at the thickness of the legs, the core strength, the back strength.
But look how easy this is.
This was incredible. I was so impressed. Just the aggression, the pure power. Evan Singleton wants this title. And he's telling us that we're not allowed it.
Yeah, I think that's what that means. All right, Trey Mitchell is your overall leader still, then Stoltman and Singleton and Evans. So you've got a top 4 as your top 3. Singleton, he'll be in second if what we're seeing holds, and he makes it real uncomfortable for Trey Mitchell going into event number 6.
Obviously, we still have one more round to go, but Tristan, Lucas, Austin, you know, all the guys in that top half are performing very, very well. No one in the bottom half is challenging any of these numbers, and Tom Stoltman is kind of like keeping the second half away. That's what he needs to do, is make sure he has enough points from this event to just still be in tension going into event 6.
Foytu would be the guy on that slate that would make a jump, but certainly not challenging at the top of the leaderboard right now. So we are solidifying final numbers from coaches as they make last adjustments to called weights here before the 3rd and final round. 1250 is the guess of what we may see from down on the floor. Is that not what that was? I just heard 1250. I got excited.
I don't know that we'll see that much go up. I think they might be talking about those two having. They had an amazing battle on the Hummer Tire deadlift a few years ago when Brian started off with the Shore Classic. One of the best deadlift battles I've ever seen between Jerry Pritchett and JF Curran, our 2 referees today. I would have loved to have seen what those two could have done. I would have loved to have known what those two could have done on this.
Once again, the coaches are finalizing the lifts that their athletes will attempt as we head into round 3.
Brian Shaw having fun with our legends, our referees today.
If we did a Legends liftoff, Laz, what would you deadlift with a trap bar and some tires?
Not as much as those two down there.
So we may see as many as 3 go after 4 tires on each side.
That would be supreme.
With additional plates. We're also going to get a couple of passes. And it's interesting because Josh Spurgeon is a pass after missing at 1,027 pounds. So Spurgeon will go for a 957 final lift because that's what he was good with in his first attempt.
Yeah, he must just feel that he's not capable of doing that weight that was on the bar. You obviously can't go back down. Don't waste the energy. Save yourself for our next event, which is another brutally heavy event that's got coming.
It does not put him in 14th as of yet, because 957 is still more than six competitors.
Okay.
Now they can make jumps, but they've got to hit them. So
absolutely.
All right, some more tires are getting rolled out from the back.
that 4 tires plus got called in this third round. A lot of pressure on these athletes with this event. You know, when you go in that third round, you call a big weight. You need to look at where you're at, where you want to go. But, I mean, this poll right now for a lot of these guys can either make or break this entire competition for them. So, in this third round, all I'm going to say is, every one of these guys, let's get behind them. Let's hype this up. And man, when that 4 tire goes up, this place better explode, man. It's gonna be good.
Round number 3 incoming, ladies and gentlemen, here at the strongest man on earth. And we are waiting for our first athlete to make their entrance into the arena. Punishing first event here, max trap bar deadlift, about to come to a climax, and you do get a feeling that it's going to go down pretty special. Going to be fun. Who wants it most? And from what we've seen, Evan Singleton is going to be hard to beat, but we know from the style of Mitchell and Hatton, they've got a much slower approach and they may be sleepers. Maxime Boudreau, ladies and gentlemen, will go first. 8.76.
Maxime Boudreau opening up at 8.76 to start this third round. He missed at 8.46 in round 2.
This will be a huge, huge lift for Maxime. I mean, he's really gambling, adding weight.
What does it tell you that he's added 30 pounds from a missed lift?
Doesn't really make sense to me, but obviously, you know, anything less is not going to get him more points. So he's taking the risk, trying to get that extra point, hoping that Nick Guardian won't get his third lift, but that is rooted to the ground. It was worth the try. Realistically, it was never going to go up, but there was no reason to do anything less. It wouldn't have changed any outcome. So he took the risk not to be this time.
So Boudreau is out and will list 8.06 as his successful lift. That's good for Spurgeon, who will not lift this round at 9.57. So he's got at least one guy behind him, as we'll now put the third tire back on. We can look at the called weights here. 11.34 by 3 different athletes is the highest total that we will see. That is 514 kilograms. Nick Guardian, 9.17.
We said it was going to take potentially 500 kilos to win this. It looks like we're going to be right, well, it's going to be more than that to win this.
I mean, the odds are somebody's going to hit it. One of the 3 is going to hit it.
They look good for it, that's the thing.
Guardian strapping in.
So this will be a PB for Nick Guardian. He's really excelled this year, establishing himself as one of the top guys in the world. It's coming up, it's coming up.
Good pick.
Work. Yes, Nick Guardian gets it. 917 pounds.
Incredible debut for Nick Guardian continues in his first strongest man on earth.
I love this as well. You know, it's not always about winning each event. Sometimes it's just about doing the best that you possibly can. And that is so good to see. An athlete enjoying doing his best. Maybe he's not the best deadlifter, but he's here performing, getting the most out of himself. That is superb.
There's multiple ways to win, Laz, right? Like, you can win the event or you can personally win the event.
Absolutely. And that's what all the athletes should be looking at. Obviously, we want to win each event, but you've got to come here, do your absolute best. That's all you can ask of yourself. And then you go away, you work hard, and you aim to come back even better.
And it's ultimately a you versus you sport. You're either stronger than the other guys or you're not. So keep being stronger until you're the strongest.
Simple. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Not always as easy.
That's why we're all down there. Here's Wes Derwinski, birthday yesterday. So this will be the first time in his life as a 30-year-old that he will attempt 947 pounds. Second appearance ever at the Shaw Classic.
Can he get it? Come on. It's going. Yes. And another great lift. And another happy athlete doing the best that he can.
Laz, describe that feeling. You can see Wes start to nod his head when you know it's going to be a good lift.
You're going through that process of, oh, it's heavy, and you just get to that point where it starts to feel a little bit easier, and that confidence kicks in. Yes, I've got this. I'm going to pull this lift. Another huge personal best there. And Wes Derwinski walks away happy, the nod. Yes, I did it.
There's waiting for the down call, and then there's standing up with the weight because you know you just did something awesome. That was the latter.
The big Tom Stoltman.
947 for Stoltman.
Now, is this still less than Josh Spurgeon's?
It is.
Okay.
10 pounds less.
I thought maybe, just maybe, he might want to try and go slightly ahead of that. However, his last lift did look hard in the mid phase. He's just trying to get the best out of himself, as we've mentioned already. He's happy with this weight. See what the big Scott can do. Oh, he's got so far to pull.
So 927 is going to be the number for Tom Stoltman. And this will be a little bit of a damage control event for the Albatross, who we said is the only man in the top 5 that has not taken a bottom half finish yet. This may be the first one. Hoth hit at 886 and 927. He's now going to jump up 30 more pounds to 957. What's the ammonia smell like?
Gross. It's not the nicest smelling thing in the world, but it's more just the hit that it gives you. I'll have to find some. I've got some in the hotel somewhere.
I'm good.
We'll get it on camera. We'll do it for social media.
Just go like horseradish. I don't know. Barefooted Tristan Hoth, 957 pounds.
A little bit too much again.
It's going to be a little bit short of his goal coming into the competition. He said his goal was 1,000. Big number.
Huge. You've got to think how fatigued they are from day one as well. Each of these events, the accumulative fatigue just kicks in. And as I said, I mean, we've got our heaviest event still to come after this one. The guys are feeling it. So these numbers that we're seeing, it makes it even more impressive. And our big Australian is coming in at over 1,000 pounds now.
That's where order of events matters. Why the log lift was so cool that it went first, because we saw an American record.
Yeah, and you couldn't expect an American record on day 2.
Eddie Williams, only man to miss in round 1, came back, looked real good in round 2 at 957. He's going to make a 50-pound jump.
Big jump. $456.5 kilos, 1,007 pounds.
The Australian. He joked at the press conference the other day, it's just strong, man. Nothing out there can kill you. And then his fellow competitors said, well, you're from Australia. There's lots of things that can kill you. Sorry, an 80-pound jump. 80-pound jump for
Eddie
Williams.
Come on, Eddie. Yes. After failing in the first round, he comes back, hits his second lift, and then eventually goes over 1,000 pounds. It was slow. It was a grinder, but Eddie Williams gets a good lift.
1,007 after he had hit it 927. I mean, how confident do you have to feel to make an 80-pound leap?
You really need to be confident that it's going up, especially after failing it and having issues with your strap. And it looked like the perfect weight. There was not a lot more there, but he was good for it and he got the best out of himself.
What are you doing in the back, by the way, between those jumps to get yourself prepped, ready?
Everyone's a little different. Some guys just like to listen to music. Other guys are kind of getting themselves amped up, hitting themselves. I've seen guys whacking themselves with sticks, head-butting walls. Other guys focusing on heavy breathing. Some guys prefer to be calm.
I'll say whacking yourself with sticks.
Yeah, that was my go-to. I had a stick that I used to beat myself with. Get someone like Evan, he likes to headbutt walls. I didn't go that far, but...
Never went too well for Bill Goldberg.
Evan had a situation like that about a month back, where he headbutted a wall before the Atlas Stones, and his head just exploded.
Here's Johnson, also at 1,007.
Johnson looking strong. This guy continues to impress. And another man goes over 1,000 pounds on the trap bar deadlift.
This is a coming out party for Bryce Johnson. Again, this is his 7th international level competition. And his 2nd major.
He's clearly been putting in the hard work. He is just better every single time I see him. North American champion just a few weeks ago. That confidence of winning that contest. It's amazing what confidence does for an athlete. Taking your first win, suddenly you start to believe, okay, I'm not here to just make up numbers. I can contend in these events.
And keep trying to make names for yourselves and hope that the people in Columbus, Ohio are watching as they get set to solidify their roster.
A lot of these guys want to be re-invited for next year. And if you look at last year's roster, the top 10 were all invited back. So good chance if you make top 10, you're going to come back. Got to keep fighting. Even if you are in some of those lower positions right now, there's big opportunities ahead.
This is still a 3-tire lift, but they have to get the bar reset and situated, I think. So there's been some movement.
Was the most we saw in round 2, 1,057.
Correct.
We're only 20 pounds off that. And I think soon we're going to go and see the real crazy lift start.
We are sitting at, for Foytu here, 1,037. This was his last successful lift at 1,007, which is what we just saw Johnson hit.
His last lift. It was challenging but solid. He kept tight throughout, kept pulling hard. This is going to be a big challenge for my young man. 23 years old, junior log lift record holder. Recently competed in his first World's Strongest Man final. Improving every single outing. Massive, massive weight now. 1,037 pounds. Strapped in.
Foytu was 6th in that World's Strongest Man final. 12th overall here. 10:37. That tilt forward.
That's a little too much. I mean, his second lift was superb. Such a good lift. It's so hard to ask yourself to keep coming back and hitting PBs time and time again. The young man is doing fantastically well.
We saw it more in the first round, the tilting of the bar. We haven't really seen it since until that Foytu lift. But Laz, walk us through having to keep the bar level and centered in order to make it a good lift.
It's really vital, and it's just about getting your setup correct. But when it's too heavy, there's not a lot you can do. Sometimes when you go to the bank and you give 100% on a lift, and that's really what Foytu did on his second attempt, you have no energy left. So you could even put less on the bar sometimes in that situation and you won't pull it. The energy's gone, and that's all it was in that situation there. Now he needs to go back, a couple of simple carbs in his body, get himself ready for event number 6.
This is Thomas Evans now.
Thomas Evans looked really good. Very powerful off the floor. A little bit wobbly in that second phase, but he just kept pulling hard. Certainly has a little bit more in him. Does he have enough for 1,057 pounds?
This would tie him for the lead, although certainly still plenty of the pack to go. But Singleton, pretty clean.
This is a smart
10:57.
lift for Thomas. If he gets it, he puts that pressure on and says, okay, I know I can't do the big numbers, but I'm going to force you guys to go and do them. And it's going up. Come on, Tom Evans. Yes! Tom Evans tactically getting things perfect today.
No lower than 5th place in the event with that lift.
And what he's done there is put pressure on the other guys to say, okay, I know I'm not as strong as you guys. I know you guys are going to get into a battle to take the win. But if one of you messes up, I'm going to sneak ahead.
Well, and Evans is in 3rd place overall, for the most part, just by sitting in that mid spot.
And look at this weight that's going on the bar now. We are jumping up an astronomical amount to 1,134 pounds. Oh no, I was getting excited. They had the wrong weight on the floor.
Going up to 1087 first.
Don't get me excited like that, guys. Come on.
Trey Mitchell, who is our overall leader, is going to attempt the 1087. What is it like to be a strongman? Lawrence Chalet, I was scrolling YouTube in prep for this show, and there's a nice workout session with Trey Mitchell where he goes to have his pre-workout meal. He orders 3 barbecue dinners. It was $143.
You don't get to 400 pounds by just eating snacks. You eat a lot of snacks and a lot of big meals all day long. Half of the battle is eating. It gets to the point where you don't want to eat, but you want to lift the big weight, so you need that food, and this man is a mountain of a man. 1,086 pounds. This will put him into the lead so far.
Evan Singleton and Thomas Evans are your current leaders at 1057. This is 30 pounds over that. Mitchell is your overall leader. He does not yet have an event win. He's been second 3 times.
Can he pull this? Massive, massive weight. It's coming off the ground.
Yes!
Oh,
no, he lost
the
at
strap
the very
just
end.
Couldn't hold on with the straps. Just started to open up. The bar started to tilt. Pulled on the strap. Doesn't get the down signal.
And I think Trey's question is, was I up before I lost it?
He clearly lifted it, but he wasn't stable with the weight. The referee didn't give him the down signal. You can see here. Up, 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 up. It starts to tilt forwards. The strap starts to pull out. Unfortunately, no lift there for Trey Mitchell. The right call from the referee. It's always tough. You know, you want to give the guys the lifts, but we need them to be official lifts.
Let's go down to Terry.
Yeah, so we really hoped it would happen. 1,134 pounds next. We got 4 wheels going on the bar. We're all getting excited about seeing that happen. We have got Lucas Hatton, Evan Singleton, and Austin Andrade all attempting 1,134 pounds.
Terry, thank you. 1134, Laz. At some point, it's all just heavy, but how heavy is it? Like, what are we talking about here?
Just ridiculous. I mean, people online sometimes going to go, oh, you know, they'll see someone doing 400 kilos, go, oh, you'll be doing 500 soon. No, this kind of weight is insane. You could have trained your whole life and still not lift this weight. The work needed, the dedication needed. And even with the best genetics, you might still not be able to lift these kind of weights.
Evan Singleton, who went last in the last round, will go here. Here he is on that last lift.
We're going to be looking at...
I thought, Laz, it was the best lift to
I
that
agree,
point.
I agree with you. Round 2, Evan Singleton looked the absolute best out of every single lifter. Look how powerful this was and how easy it goes up. He has come into this show stronger than ever.
I mean, at 1,134 pounds, we are getting in the area of like what people lift for records on trap bar deadlifts. You don't see it a lot in competition.
No, I mean, this weight is absolutely huge.
Singleton.
Oh my goodness!
You should have put more on it!
Singleton! Evan Singleton telling everyone he is here to win. Lifting 1,134 pounds in the trap bar deadlift. Wow, unbelievable.
Massive points for Evan Singleton, who was 5.5 out of the lead and in third overall, and this is dominant strength.
Now Lucas Hatton, can he match? I mean, Evan Singleton looked like he had more, but that's irrelevant now. They only get 3 lifts. Lucas Hatton looking for another event win, or this would be a tied win.
And as big a deal as that was for Evan Singleton, this is an even bigger deal for Lucas the Hitman Hatton, because he is in 7th overall.
He needs the points more than Evan, yeah.
This puts him back in contention if he hits it.
And it's going to be getting so tight at the top.
11:34 for Hatton. He was good at 10:37 in round 2.
This is a big jump. His second lift wasn't as fast as Evans. However, he's a slower, more methodical puller. He'll take all the slack out of that bar, get himself into a position to drive hard with those big, big legs, and he stands up. Down signal, no problem for Lucas Hatton, the second man to pull 1,134 pounds.
Laz, it looked like he was going to lose the stability, but the wherewithal to keep that hex bar semi-level and complete the lift.
Yeah, he managed to just tilt it backwards slightly rather than letting it come forwards. Kept pulling through the hips. Look at this here. Driving hard with those legs, keeping the chest up, pushing, 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 sitting back, and then a nice solid lockout. Great lift there from Lucas. I forgot that we still have Austin.
Yeah, that's the funny part.
One more athlete.
As incredible as it's been to see the 11:34 for Singleton and Hatton, here is Austin Andrade. Going for 11:34. Andrade in 6th place overall. 7 points out of first. Made some big moves, finishing 3rd in the manhood stones last night. Andrade at 10:47 in round 2. So a bigger lift than Hatton, less than Singleton. He's trying to equal both men here in round 3. That would be a 3-way tie at the top.
He is strapped in. Now what does he have?
Is it a lift they'll be talking about in San Antonio for years?
It's,
no!
It was coming up, just hit the knee height, and it was just a little too much. Great effort there. He's almost shocked. Believed he could pull it. Been interesting watching Austin this weekend. He wants this so much. Believes he's capable.
Andrade competes such with his heart on his sleeve. I asked him earlier this week, tell me about your tattoos. What do they mean to you? And he said, my favorite one is the Virgin Mary on my leg. It stands for my grandmother who passed a month and a half ago. And he started to tear up. This all means so much to
It
Okada.
really does.
But you can tell what it means to Singleton, and you can tell what it means to Hatton, because they dominated.
Hatton was incredible. Look at the power here. So much leg strength, so much back strength, but the control as well. As you mentioned, it started to tilt. He managed to stop that, pulling him out of position. And when you talk about how much someone wants Evan Singleton, that man is giving everything to be the best strongman he can.
11:34 for Singleton and Hatton. Thomas Evans, though, he was in third place overall. Those are going to be big points for him. As we get set to go down to Neil Pickup, he is with Evan Singleton. This should be a good performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with the winner of the trap bar deadlift. I'll tell you what, Evan, you told me this morning, all these events are pretty good for me. Pretty good for me? You absolutely decimated 1,134 pounds. And walking around this arena, the only thing everybody wanted to know is how far could you have gone?
Whatever it would have taken to win.
Now, we've gone super heavy right here. We're going into the yoke. We know your pedigree in that event. This is a very exciting day for you.
Yep, I was looking forward to this day. First day was going to be good. Today was going to be the day where I take my first title.
It seems, and you can hear what everybody thinks about that. It seems like today, mate, you've got the venom that you always bring to the show, but there's a very, very focused, present look in your eye.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by good people. We've really been working on my mental game as far as approaching this competition. Every single move that I take in this comp is strategic, and obviously it's paying off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let him get back and get ready for the next event, but I want you to show your love and show your appreciation for the incredible Evan T-Rex Singleton.